Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about workers' compensation, what it is, how it works and who pays. What is workers' compensation? Workers' compensation, commonly referred to as workers' comp, is a government mandated program that provides benefits to workers who become injured or ill on the job or as a result of the job. It's effectively a disability insurance program for workers, providing cash benefits, healthcare benefits, or both to workers who suffer injury or illness as a direct result of their jobs. In the United States, workers' compensation is handled primarily by the individual states. The required benefits vary greatly state by state. Texas is the only state that does not require employers to maintain workers' compensation insurance. Workers' compensation is a form of employer insurance coverage that pays benefits to workers who are injured or become disabled as a result of their job. By accepting workers' compensation benefits, the employee waives the right to sue the employer for damages. The compensation may include partial salary repayment and coverage of medical costs. The workers' comp is not the same as unemployment benefits or disability insurance. Understanding workers' compensation. Workers' compensation benefits may include partial wage replacement for the period during which the employee cannot work. The benefits may also include reimbursement for healthcare services and occupational therapy. The most workers' compensation programs are paid by the private insurers from premiums paid by the individual employers. Each state has a workers' compensation board, a state agency that oversees the program and intervenes in disputes. There are federal workers' compensation programs that cover federal employees, longshore and harbor workers, and energy employees. Another federal program, the Black Lung Program, handles death and disability benefits for coal miners and their dependents. Benefits of workers' compensation. Requirements for workers' compensation may vary from state to state, and not all employees are covered in some states. Some states, for example, exclude small businesses from the mandate for coverage. Others have different requirements for various industries. The National Federation Independent Business (NFIB) maintains a summary of its state's workers' compensation requirements. The salary replacement paid to an employee under workers' compensation is typically less than the person's full salary. The most generous programs pay about 2/3 of the person's gross salary. The workers' compensation benefits are not usually taxable at the state or federal level, compensating for much of the lost income. Taxes may be due to recipients who also have the income from Social Security disability or supplemental security income programs, healthcare cost reimbursement, and survivor benefits. Most compensation plans offer coverage of medical expenses only related to injuries incurred as a direct result of employment. For example, a construction worker could claim compensation for an injury suffered in fall from a scaffolding, but not for an injury incurred while driving to the job site. In other situations, workers can receive equivalent of sick pay while they are on medical leave. If an employee dies as a result of the work-related incident, the workers' compensation makes payments to the workers' dependents. Recipients waive the right to sue by agreeing to receive workers' compensation. Workers give up their right to sue their employer for negligence. This compensation bargain is intended to protect both workers and employers. Workers are giving further recourse in exchange for the guaranteed compensation, while employers consent to a degree of liability while avoiding the potentially greater cost of negligence lawsuit. Workers' compensation is available only to employees who are injured on the job. It is not the same as disability insurance or unemployment benefits. Special consideration: a claim for workers' compensation may not be disputed by the employer. In that case, the workers' compensation board may ask to resolve the dispute. Disputes can arise over whether the employer is actually liable for an injury or illness. The workers' compensation payments are also susceptible to insurance fraud. In fact, the National Insurance Crime Board asserts that there are organized criminal conspiracies of crooked physicians, attorneys, and patients who submit false claims to medical insurance companies for workers' compensation and other benefits. Types of workers' compensation. In US, workers' compensation rules are handled by individual states. The US Department of Labor houses an office of workers' compensation programs, but it is responsible only for coverage of federal employees, longshoremen and harbor workers, energy employees and coal miners. Lack of federal standards for workers' compensation has resulted in extremely varied policies for the same kinds of injury from state to state. Identical injuries can receive radically different kinds of compensation depending on where a worker resides. A paper by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration (OSHA) flatly calls workers' compensation a broken system and estimates 50% of the costs of the workplace injury and illness are borne by the individuals who suffer them. Low-wage and immigrant workers often don't even apply for benefits.